When a person talks about their sign, more often than not, they will be talking about their sun sign, the zodiac sign that the sun was in when they were born. And the sun, of course, is key in your astrology chart, but there is another sign that is just as important, and this is called your rising sign, or ascendant. It's very easy for people to write off astrology as a collection of far-reaching generalizations when you only know about sun signs. But once you learn about rising signs, as well as the other placements, things start to become more personalized, nuanced, and unique to each individual. Your rising sign, or your ascendant, is the planetary influence that was rising over the eastern horizon the moment you were born. Anyone who is seeking more depth, more wisdom, and more understanding of horoscopes should also consider getting to know what their rising signs mean, and knowing the rising signs of those around you and of yourself gives you a far deeper understanding. It's important to know your rising sign because it makes astrology far more individualized. Because your rising sign is associated with the first house of a birth chart, it really is all about you, or the person in question. It represents the surface of a person's personality, what they show to the world. It's how an acquaintance might see you. You might describe it as the mask of your persona, and we can think of it like the cover of your book, your first impression. It's enough to get an idea of who you are, but it's far from your whole story at the same time. Your rising sign is how you might act at social gatherings, or when you're meeting new people. It's how you might act on a first date. It's your social media profile, and it's how we want to be viewed, and it's how we view ourselves. Some astrologers say that rising signs can even influence physical characteristics and appearance. Astrologers believe that your ascending sign can be conditioned by childhood experiences. Its qualities show up immediately, whereas the full essence of the person's sun sign become known over time as we age. For example, a Virgo with Leo rising may have a big mane of hair and come across as showy and proud, but after a while they will age and mature and discover the true, humble and modest Virgo. The rising and sun sign blend into an inner and outer layer, with the moon obscured deep within and behind the shifting clouds of the self. Moon signs will be addressed on this channel in a separate video, so make sure you subscribe to this channel for more content. To calculate your rising sign, you will need to know what time you were born and the exact location, exact if possible, approximate if not, as rising signs change approximately every 2 hours. So you will need to know your time of birth to get an accurate answer. Some birth certificates don't list time of birth, so you may need to rely on your parents' memory. With this information, you can calculate your rising sign, and then you can ask your friends and loved ones the time of their birth and calculate theirs too. There is a link in the description of this video where you can access an easy-to-use calculator to work out rising signs. It is important to understand that your astrology is not based on one sign. Everyone is made up of many signs. Together, your rising sign, sun sign, and moon sign, which is the sign the moon was in at the time you were born, represent your outer self, rising, your inner self, moon, and your core, sun. Just the same, you have planets and signs in your personal birth chart that represent your love life, your dreams, your health, family, and more, and this is how your astrology chart represents you so specifically. Following is an overview of each sign and their elements, and what your rising sign and the ascendant of your friends and family means. All of these sections are time-stamped in the description of this video, so you can jump straight to whatever is relevant to you. And we will start with the Ascendant fire signs. The fire signs of Aries, Leo and Sagittarius are noted for their energy, enthusiasm and optimism. When a fire sign is on the ascendant, the outer manner is friendly, uncritical and non-hostile, which makes such people good mixers and public relations executives. They typically send out friendly but professionally competent signals, which draw out a friendly and rather respectful response from others. Aries rising gives out a well-organized, slightly military bearing, which makes them fit for any kind of military or civil service organization. Leo rising subjects have a dignified and rather formal manner, which inspires confidence, while Sagittarius risers have a cheerful, pleasant and rather witty outer manner, which suits all kinds of teaching, training and public speaking situations. If your ascendant is Aries, you make a bold and unforgettable first impression. The Aries rising sign can come across as a dynamic go-getter, but you can also be read as overwhelming or even aggressive. Your strengths are hopefulness, activity, energy, honesty, adaptability, bravery, adventurousness, passionate, generous, cheerful, curious, warm and dynamic, whereas your weaknesses can be impulsive, naive, self-willed, quarrelsome and impatient. The symbol, of course, is the ram, and the Aries rising person tends to have a swift walk and quick movements. He or she may have a ruddy complexion and reddish hair. Pronounced facial features and scars or marks on the face or head are also characteristic of this rising sign. Injuries to the face are common with the Aries rising individual. This person tends to have a strong body and an athletic build. If your ascendant is Leo, you are dynamic, warm and powerful. Leo rising signs are impossible to ignore with their loud laughs, colourful outfits and trademark manes of hair. Their strengths are pride, charitability, reflectiveness, loyalty and enthusiasm, whereas they can also be arrogant, conceited, indulgent, wasteful and willful. Their symbol is the lion, and Leo rising individuals typically have a full head of hair that resembles a lion's mane. These people also tend to have large heads and prominent facial features. He or she has a regal disposition that demands respect and attention, and the Leo rising individual has exaggerated and dramatic mannerisms. If your ascendant is Sagittarius, as mine is, you can be blunt, wise and cuttingly crass, a know-it-all at times. The Sagittarius rising sign is attracted to big ideas and hates small talk. Your style is colourful, worldly and eclectic. You can be adventurous, outspoken, upbeat, insightful, rational, brave, lively and optimistic. But you can also be forgetful, unthinking and rash. Your symbol is the archer, and your face tends to be round with a broad smile. The Sagittarius rising person does have a tendency to be clumsy and may even lack grace. He or she has grand gestures, and the mannerisms may be exaggerated. This person tends to stomp or drag the feet when walking. Sagittarian rising individuals tend to have a lot of energy, but often dislike exercise and tend to overindulge in food and drink. The ascendant earth signs of Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn are noted for their practicality and security. When an earth sign is on the ascendant, the outer manner is shy, serious and cautious. Taurus risers are the most sociable of the three and are often musical or artistic. Virgo risers look for mental stimulation in others, while Capricorn risers enjoy both work and social pursuits. People with these ascendants send out signals which are pleasant and tactful, suggesting that they prefer to form part of a team, at least to begin with, than to push themselves immediately to the front. If your ascendant is Taurus, you have a strong and unwavering presence, a solid work ethic and an eye for design. Taurus rising sign style is classic and also a little tough. You're built to last. You are romantic, decisive, logical, hard-working, passionate, patient, artistic, kind, practical and calm, but you can also be prejudiced, needy, stubborn and hedonistic. With your symbol being the bull, Taurus ascendants usually give out a solid, strong body. The Taurus rising individual is likely to be plump in the torso area and may be prone to weight gain due to their tendency to overindulge. The neck is usually short and thick and their shoulders are wide and square. The nostrils may also be flared, especially when this person is angry. If your ascendant is Virgo, you are observant, analytical, and may appear to be serious or lost in thought. Virgo rising sign people can have baby faces and may decorate or dress in white or neutral colors. They are precise, intelligent, helping, elegant, perfectionist, modest, practical and perceptive, but they can also be fussy, nosy and limiting. Their symbol is the Virgin Maiden, and the facial features of the Virgo ascendant individual are typically small and well-shaped, and the complexion tends to be fair and smooth. Like the Gemini rising individual, the person who has Virgo rising may have an abundance of nervous energy and tends to be high-strung. The walk is graceful and smooth. This person is usually well-groomed and presentable. If your ascendant is Capricorn, you come across as hardworking, no-nonsense and polished. Your Capricorn rising sign gives you a sharp business acumen, but you can also read as heavy or overly serious. You are intelligent, practical, reliable, generous, optimistic, endearing and persistent, but you can also be stubborn, solitary and suspicious. Your symbol is the goat, and the person who has the Capricorn rising is usually slender and flat-chested. Capricorn rising individuals tend to have a swarthy complexion and small, sharp facial features. The Capricorn rising individual may seem cold, snobbish, and even unapproachable. The ascendant air signs of Gemini, Libra and Aquarius are noted for their communication skills. When an air sign is on the ascendant, the subject is friendly and sociable, but also independent and somewhat detached. The Gemini riser is constantly busy, fully engaged in a kind of juggling act, with at least a dozen activities on the go at any time. The Libra riser occupies him or herself with business schemes which often need the aid of a more earthly planner to make them come into fruition. The Aquarius riser makes wonderful plans for themselves and may even carry some of them out. If your ascendant is Gemini, you are a natural communicator who talks a mile a minute, gesticulating with your hands. Gemini rising signs are playful and are not afraid of bright, colourful or eye-popping patterns. They are insightful, smart, cheerful, quick-witted, warm, charming, but they can also be fickle and gossipy with their symbol, the twins. Due to an abundance of nervous energy and the inability to sit still, the Gemini rising person is usually slender and rarely has weight issues, unless there is an abundance of Cancer or Taurus planets in this birth chart. The Gemini rising person usually walks quickly with a spring in their step, and they may also gesture frequently with the hands when talking. If your ascendant is Libra, you are charm personified. You are gracious and well-dressed and at times softly spoken. Libra rising sign people are gentle but hate conflict and may go too far to keep the peace. They are idealistic, reasonable, They have strong social skills, they are charming, artistic and kind-hearted, but they can also be hesitant, egotistical, lazy, careless and freewheeling. Their symbol is the scales, and the influence of Venus usually bestows beauty and grace on the Libra rising individual. This person tends to have a nicely shaped facial features and the body is usually well formed. The Libra rising individual does have a tendency to put on weight during middle age, however, his or her mannerisms do tend to be graceful and proper. If your ascendant is Aquarius, you march to your own beat in attitude and style. The Aquarius rising sign adds a rebel edge to your vibe, as well as a passion for social justice or cutting-edge ideas. You are unique, tolerant, calm, sociable, charitable, independent, smart and practical, but you can also be changeful, disobedient, hasty and rebellious. Your symbol is the water carrier. Aquarius rising sign are usually quick and unpredictable. Their behavior or clothing is often eccentric, capturing the attention of others. These people tend to be attractive and have well-formed facial features. The ascendant water signs of Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces are noted for their emotion, intuition and feeling. When a water sign is on the ascendant, the subject will hide their true feelings and have a strong need to protect themselves from the world around them. What you see is often not what you get with water ascendants. In other words, the signals they send out are consciously or unconsciously chosen for effect. Cancerians appear chatty and helpful, and they will do well in any situation that requires tact. Scorpio risers can use many different forms of camouflage with people they do not know, one of their favourites being offensiveness and an off-putting manner. Pisces risers appear soft and gentle and self-sacrificing and sometimes even helpless, but this is misleading, as they will fight strongly for what they think is right. Pisces are also known to be highly emotional and the most intuitive of the 12 signs. If your ascendant is Cancer, you are a caring empath who comes across as a deeply sensitive or intuitive person. Cancer rising sign style is feminine and nurturing with a touch of classic glamour. You have a strong sixth sense. You are gentle, imaginative, careful, dedicated, perseverant, kind and caring, but you can also be greedy, possessive, sensitive and prudish. The symbol of the Cancer rising sign is the crab, and the most noticeable feature of the Cancer rising person is the round, moon-shaped face. People who have Cancer rising also have a tendency to put on weight, especially in the hip area. The legs tend to be short and stocky. The Cancer rising female tends to be nicely curved and voluptuous, even when she's not overweight. If your ascendant is Scorpio, you exude power and sensuality. Your Scorpio rising sign presence can be felt without saying a word. You can come across as intense and may be drawn to spiritual pursuits. You are mysterious, rational, intelligent, independent, intuitive, devoted, insightful, and sensible. But you can also be suspicious, obsessive, complicated, possessive, arrogant, and self-willed. Your symbol is the scorpion, and the most noticeable characteristic of the Scorpio rising individual are his or her large, penetrating eyes. The facial features are sharp and the skin may have an oily or sallow appearance. The body is usually muscular, strong, and thick-set, and this person rarely shows emotion and tends to have immobile facial expressions. If your ascendant is Pisces, you have luminous eyes that reflect the world's suffering. Pisces rising people are sensitive artists who can be powerful healers but are also prone to addiction. You are conscious, friendly, dedicated, kind, and have a good temper. But you can also be retreating, overly sentimental, indecisive, and unrealistic. Your symbol is the fish. Pisces rising individuals are relatively small and well proportioned. Large, dreamy eyes and long, thick lashes are also common when this sign is on the ascendant. The feet are usually small and the legs and arms tend to be short. He or she tends to be shy and softly spoken. I have many more videos planned for this channel, and some of these will cover the other planetary signs, your moon sign, your Venus sign, and so much more. And thank you to those of you that are already supporting this small channel as I try to establish and grow. I appreciate all of you. Thank you.